Good day, everyone. I'm Jose Alfonso Tagulinaw, and in this time of pandemic where everyone is suffering and losing hope, there are still good Samaritans out there willing to help those in need. But even though they are willing to help, these good Samaritans can still encounter a specific conflict, and that conflict is the suffering itself. Therefore, how will they cope up to help these people? First of all, who are these people? These people volunteer to help others in need, especially in this time of pandemic. Not only are they recognized to help masses, but they're also recognized as people who help in simple ways from the rich to the poor. Legally, it means it is someone who acts in an emergency like this current pandemic on a voluntary basis. Now, what are the causes of this conflict? First, the effects of the current pandemic, which are the health risks of the COVID-19 virus. Second is corruption. Some government officials are not using the gathered funds to support the people in need. Last is the lack of funds. Since we are in quarantine, most jobs are not available, leading to people not being able to earn money. Now, it also has its effects. Due to the pandemic, first, jobs are not available. Therefore, people cannot earn money to support their families. Second, economic breakdown. Most businesses are closed due to this pandemic. Because of this suffering, economic performance of our country decreased. Last, death of countless people. Most evident deaths are either by the COVID-19 virus or of hunger due to lack of money. But despite these conflicts, there is still hope. That's why we thought of 4 alternatives to at least help solve these problems. The first alternative we could suggest is online crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is the best way to earn lots of money from many people for a specific cause, therefore it is relatively easy to do. The second alternative is donating manually. If you want to help as an individual, we may as well donate manually to organizations focusing on helping people during this time of pandemic. We can donate even little by little because according to the signed by a Knee and Heel as one act, an individual donating supplies or financial means are exempted from donor's tax, income tax, and fully deductible from gross income. The third alternative that we could think of is organizing the donation itself. Instead of relying on the government to distribute the donations of either supplies or financial means to the group of people we are targeting, our own organization needs to distribute the donations ourselves to our targeted people. The final alternative is simply doing small acts. If you are just an individual who wants to help other people without a budget or resources, we can do small acts considered to be an act of goodness. It may not be as influential as donating to masses, but it is still considered helping. For example, giving the change of your order to your Grab driver, or giving food for the jeepney drivers, or simply giving money to the poor. It is still all considered as an act of a good Samaritan. Of course, these alternatives has its pros and cons. For the first alternative, which is online crowdfunding, the pro is crowdfunding is one of the easiest ways to earn funds for a specific cause because it's online. The con is the amount of the money raised or the goal of the crowdfunding may not be reached completely. For the second alternative, which is to donate manually, the pro is the by a Knee and Heel as one act included the motivation to encourage good Samaritans to donate, granting full tax benefits during this time of pandemic. The con is we will not know if the organization we donated to is an organization we can trust, meaning if they will use it to help others or for personal intentions. An example of these circumstances is the pork barrel scam of 2014. The third alternative, which is to organize the donation itself. The pro is an NGO organizing the distributions of the donation clears the problem of corruption. For example, if an NGO decides to give their funds designated for financial help to the government for distribution, it provides an opportunity of corruption from the government officials. The con is we need to remember that it is considered an illegal activity or event. We still need approval from the government itself. The last alternative, which is to do small acts. The pro is no matter how small the act, it is still considered an act of goodness because you will be able to help at least one person in need because of the pandemic. The con, however, is even if the act is considered goodness, we can only help limited people because we don't have the financial means or resources to help masses. Finally, is our judgment as a group. We have come to a conclusion that the best solution or alternative is through online crowdfunding. It is a way for people to easily and safely help people, especially the poor, and with the current situation right now, the frontliners. The value that we are trying to uphold here is the virtue of empowerment. We are empowered to help others because we are inspired by the frontliners. Online crowdfunding can be beneficial because it can help both mentally and physically. Mentally, because it can boost your confidence and sense of purpose, and physically, because especially with these times, it can be safe and healthy. Online crowdfunding has less risks, but the most important one is that you're protected by the safety of your home. Online crowdfunding can be very convenient because the internet can be easily accessed by the click of a button. Being online is also a big advantage because almost everyone has access to the internet, meaning it can be easy to get people's attention. But even though this has several pros, it also has its cons. Its primary con is the goal or the amount of money needed to be raised of the crowdfunding may not be reached because not all people are willing to donate financially and have the will to help others. But nevertheless, it is still the best way because it is a non-contact method, and that is crucial especially during this quarantine, and it is relatively easy to do because it is transacted online. We hope that you all learned something and that you were able to give useful suggestions to help fight against this war we are experiencing right now. Thank you.